you know, as most previous match winners between Clown and Colony, so it did push them up into the fray of things, but we don't pay out past 10th place. So you've got to make your way into that, and it's literally tied at that point. So if this game ends here somehow, give it your all. Put your hearts on the line. Look, I know the Attack on Titan final just happened, but you just like play your heart out, okay?
Play your heart out indeed. Enigma, we'll check in with you in a little bit. Tiff, let's take it away because we've got a crazy match at hand. Only one team can close it out here, but a lot of teams trying to get to that match point system. Again, over 100 points is your threshold, so we're looking for 1.6 points from Bread's team, and I believe about 12 points from Tommy and Noob, certainly within reason, and then within the 20-point margin for a couple more inside of 3rd, 4th, and 5th. But excited to see which teams will make it, but all eyes still set on Shifty and Biffle, and I'll be curious to see what happens, because this team in particular has been going through the blender. Scummin and FIFA have kind of been on the brink of the top 10, Tiff. They actually went out extremely early in the last map. Actually, I think they got wiped early, kind of like this situation where Scummin went down near the very beginning of the game, and then they both lost their gulags. It is something you can't come back from.
Yeah, that's just honestly tough. That's when you just kind of try to like roll off your shoulders and be like, it's okay, we've got another one. Because there's only so many games at this point that Biffle and Shifty are just not going to win. And they've had so many times to try and just end this tournament before anyone else touches that 100-point threshold. But this is starting to get serious, right? Because we know we're going to have at least one more team after this game to be able to chow Biffle and Shifty. So checking in with them. They're going Hydro again.
Yeah, and this is the big question mark, is like, what strategy will they deploy? Because everyone is coming for them. It's just the simple fact. Now, not everyone knows where they are, as they've been trying to change up drop spots a little bit. Now, Biffle in trouble. Shifty playing Overwatch and gets it. That's exact. And Jace falling. Likely have a self-revive, but Shifty should be able to clean them up, no problem. These are these encounters you look back on as a player on the opposite side and say, what if? What if I wipe that team? If they win this map, what if exact Four and Jace win that gunfight? Could have completely changed the tide of this tournament and pushed it several more maps. But as I say that, Shifty's getting ripped from distance, and everybody is collapsing on them. And I don't know how they know, but they know, and they are pushing towards the action. And regardless of whether they know it's Biffle or Shifty, a third party is always a great answer to find a couple eliminations on the map.
You know, Biffle just pushes straight upstairs, med vest and all, and just says, you know what, I don't care. I'm gonna res you. And immediately Shifty comes down, grabs that knock onto Raid, and Biffle just throws down onto Almond, sends them to the gulag. This is going to be the reckoning for Shifty and Biffle to make it through map number 7.
They're gonna have to go through the gauntlet, but if any team can, this duo certainly can. An opportunity to go massive. And what's wild to say too is obviously we're here on game 7, and which is about how long we thought it might go as they continue to find eliminations downrange. That's Swagg going down. We'll check in with FIFA Kill to see if, well, history will repeat itself. Here we go. A moment in time for FIFA to find it, and he does. But what I was saying here, Tiff, is that it's crazy to think that Shifty and Biffle have essentially had 3 free games where no one else could win the tournament besides them. And it's wild to say, like, their point total leading up to that point is the reason for that, right? Like, they set themselves up for a win. They've kind of run out of time to execute on it, though. Like, of course, they've got another opportunity in the next map, but at the very least, this is the last map that they have where they're the only ones that can win.
Yeah, I mean, we already looked at the leaderboard. Breadman coming into this game at 98.6, Noobs 88, Hisoka at 73, Mirai 71.6, and even then Intex at 67, all the way down to 6th place. They could make a play for it, but this is what you got to do. Intex on your screen right now, 67 points, like I just said. Believe in them, you hear it. Just keep looting, bruh.
Hey, looting is key, cash is king. I've been pretty, not surprised, maybe pleasantly surprised is a good adjective for that crew. Intex and Believe have pleasantly surprised me with their gameplay today. They've been playing very clean, systematic Warzone, and it's paid off. They've been inside the top 5 pretty much the entirety of this tournament. They've put together a sizable amount, and it's showing. Playing very, very well. They still have an opportunity, like you said, to make it into the money, or rather make it into the top 5 here shortly, and potentially make it over the threshold. But Mirai Goat Clamp as well is also inside of that conversation. Looking to breach that 100-point margin. We'll need a little bit less than, I think, 30 points to make it there. And they seemingly are under fire and checking every single corner they can as they rotate to the next spot.
Okay.
This is a good team to get out.
Wait, what did I switch? I took his.
Oh, interesting call out. See, these are the things we're going to be hearing, Tiff, from teams, especially cognitive teams like Tommy and Noobs. This is a team that we need to get out, especially teams that are close. Who is it on the other side?
Good shit, bro.
And they are
out.
Wow, they're out of here too.
That is the way to do it. Everything that you need to do, just be a little aggressive.
These 2 people on the bounty.
No, I don't.
And they're going to keep going straight
them stuff
forward.
away.
In the blue building. Yeah, no, I haven't popped to you yet, but they're in the blue building.
Okay.
I should. Oh, you are far.
Yeah.
They are
Yeah.
splitting. They are playing this a little more kind of like similar to how we play a 2v2 style, but they need to do that, knowing that they just need 12 points to hit that 100 point. If you can just go ahead and just throw down a lot of early game eliminations and have your gulags as kind of that comfort, that's the way to do.
Yet again, Smixy Echo, they've been playing fantastic all day despite really against all odds because they've constantly been in a blender. And yeah, Smixy gets pushed yet again. They've been fighting 2 to 3 squads every single time we turn to them. Had a great performance in the last map that pushed them up into the money. Currently 8th place overall, but here we go. An opportunity to stay alive in this lobby. We need to take down Topster Bomb.
Echo's former teammate from World Series of Warzone. Sure, take him out in the gulag. Let's go, Smixy. Come on. Patience. The virtue that I definitely don't have. I would have already fully sent this. Or at least used my snapshot for some information. Oh. Spots ahead. Here comes the Semtex. Dodges it with efficiency, but doubles back, takes towards the high ground, jumps down. Great, good shots, and that's going to be just what she needs. Systematic Warzone you were talking about earlier, and that's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, okay, so I did get word, by the way, that that player, we couldn't tell who it was. That was Adrian. So that's Aydan and Adrian full wiped because of Noobs and Tommy pushing the equation, noting that it's someone they needed to take down. Of course, Aydan and Adrian, they were inside the top 10. They were currently situated in 7th place going into this map. So a big win nonetheless, but here's a big moment as well. Shifty in trouble. This Molotov gets shot out of his hand? I think that might be what's happened, but he's taking the high ground, pushing the equation, health regen. Should have no problem winning this, but Nobu Spartan, there's no free gulags in this game. That's what Enigma says, and I totally agree.
I don't think anyone's going to give a gulag like they did in the World Series of Warzone. That's not going to happen from this trio. Good shield crack right there. Jumps again, but Spartan in that moment. Patience.
Wow. I think he clipped a couple headshots there at the final couple bullets to win that gunfight. A big take against Shifty. I think Biffle was still alive, so it's not all she wrote yet, but still a tough one, though. You're going to have to burn some resources to get Shifty back. A brutal loss. Job's not done. Intex and Believe, 6th place going into this map. Alive and well and looking for a couple more eliminations. They do need a big map to breach the 100-point threshold. They need near 40 points. Something like 35 in order to breach it. It's possible. Again, especially if you win. 2x multiplier if you win. We're looking at somewhere around 17, 18 kills between the duo. It's possible. Seen more, but not that often.
Hear them bottom left still.
Bottom left. They know exactly where they need to look.
One inner.
Shots being peppered. They see the player go in through the door. No reason to get off this high ground and full send that. It just wouldn't make sense. I don't care how badly you'd want that elimination. Yes, okay, now maybe a mortar strike. You're going to have to either tank this or try to finesse an area of a rooftop that's not going to have that mortar on it, but they are slightly split. And that's okay.
Yeah, patience is a virtue for a reason. There's Tom and Noobs playing together again, and this is something they're doing very, very well, is kind of holding hands wherever they go, making sure they can team fight everything. If even for but a moment you are split enough to where you could be isolated, it's so difficult to win 1v2s against some of Warzone's best. And now Noobs does have high ground. Seemingly another team on high ground across from him. Tommy not in a position to really help. Be a tough fight, but Noobs is fairly safe from being pushed just because that building is a bit lower. They can't fly over and full send him. And I think he's saying, hey, let's just forget about these people. We got to make sure we get to zone and don't get held on our way in.
Yeah, because you saw it pulling straight over to the most eastern side of the central side of that map. That's a tough rotation, especially from where they are. And you know, Smixy Echo over here at Alsharian Pass, not necessarily going to be a tough rotation. You have that high ground, so you'll get a little bit of extra comfort as you fly in because there's kind of that open area. But before we get there, Redman has found himself in the gulag. Does have one elimination though, so that's a solid mark.
Oh man.
But gets taken out because here's the deal. They need 1.4 points from this game.
Yeah, that's brutal. And if you notice, by the way, Brett is playing with VonBot is the player he's elected to pick up. Joe actually had to go do, I think, a sponsored stream or something like that. Couldn't finish out the tournament. I do think they might have enough points already to breach the threshold, which is really all that matters. But you have to think about it this way. Here's the weird point in your brains, especially if you're a team like that only needed 2 points. You can't just sit on your laurels and say, okay, we did it. Let's just see what happens this game. Because if Shifty and Biffle win this map, the tournament is done, and somebody could surpass you. Tommy and Noobs, for instance, drop a 30-point game or something like that, jump over Bread and VonBot, who maybe only dropped 4 or 5. Yes, they've breached 100 points, but the tourney's over. It doesn't matter, and they've breached 100 points as well, and maybe have a point or two more than you. And the difference between second and third place is almost $5,000 in prize pools. So every single kill, every single point matters regardless of where you are on this leaderboard.
And especially with the way and the pace that Tommy and Noobs have been acting here in map number 7, I think electing to get a little bit closer to that next circle was the play. Recently had that UAV. They're overlooking this buy station. They had a red dot over here. Noobs can't quite make that shot work for them. Semtex not connecting either. They need to clear some of this out because it's all going to be open hill once you kind of get through the ravine in front.
Here we go. Slowly but surely. Definition of great Warzone players is when to go pedal to the metal and when to play nice and slow, patient, cognitive Warzone. Clean comms back and forth as per the usual. They push the buy station and get some information gathering tools. UAVs massive in moments like this to clean up your team wipes and recognize whether or not you're going to be held moving into the next zone.
He's just still right.
They've spotted him. Likely will grab that 2v1 victory and move on their merry way. Now, Brett is on 1. VonBot just needs 1 kill, and they've done it. But like I was saying before, they'd like to make it all the way and put as many points on the board to assuredly at least get second should things go well for Shifty and Biffle. And we're going to continue to swap perspectives here, Tiff, and check out everybody inside the zone as well as Dania is hanging on by a thread.
Mixie, Echo. They're looking to hit their rotation. There, the map should look quite similar. I believe Biffle and Shifty lost and got second place here from this area. So we're going to barrel on towards that next circle. She's flying straight into the open arms of an enemy. It's Oak Boy and Picnic. They're kind of the warriors of this side of the map because they did win that map against Shifty and Biffle. So no strangers to that area.
Yeah, now Smixie fully eliminated from this lobby. She is now praying to the COD gods that Shifty and Biffle don't win. Because if they do, they're likely falling outside of the top 10. They were in 8th place going into this one. And falling in 26, not going to really be too helpful for their leaderboard position. Likely will get surpassed, especially with how tight it was. So really hoping Shifty and Biffle don't win. If you're a Smixie fan, we'll see. Back to Unrational's POV at range. No sniper this time. AR and still can't grab the elimination.
You know, it do be like sometimes you just can't get that full there. But Tommy and Noobs, the way they've chosen to rotate in throughout this circle, kind of the buy station ahead of them. They do have the UAV up for that information. Luckily, Noobs running bird's eye, because earlier on, we were last on their POV. He goes ahead and pings them out just in case. He's like, I don't know if you can see them, so Tommy might be running high alert. Maybe they're kind of going both ways, one bird's eye, one high alert, but approaching the buy station here as they carry on further north.
Yeah, you might be able to blood.
I'd love to do maybe a quick listen in with Tommy and Noobs if we can go back to them here shortly as Shifty and Biffle are kind of rotating around with their vehicles. They're taking it. They're going for the win. They're trying a different strategy. They're hanging out on the edge of the map. And they're going to be hanging out there for a while with their vehicles. But let's listen in to Tommy and Noobs. They're in the thick of it, and their comms are always crisp and clean. Would love to hear them going into this fight.
20. I got the kill for it.
Next building over.
Yep.
Self.
I have a self.
Portable. I just got a portable.
Might try
I'm
and
gonna
work
hold
right
this.
here, Ed.
I'm down. Let me know. Do you want
They're
to?
looking at me. Hold on. Double smoking. I'm going. I'm gonna run backwards though, okay? I'm not going close because they're gonna nade it.
Okay, do you want me to go with you?
You can hold for a little bit. It's up to you. There was 2 people over here.
One jumped. He's crossing to that that fucking like little drop. And then on the roof still. On the roof.
I have a PA too. They threw a portable.
Yeah, he got it. He got that thing. I'm gonna row right with you.
Okay. There was 2 people in front of me somewhere.
Yeah, I know.
I'm hitting this for smokes.
I still got 2 nades.
I got 2
I
nades.
still have a portable as well too.
If we get a building, I think we throw it.
I think they were on this one. I want to say they were on that
I
one.
went way up. I'm just clearing all
Yeah,
this.
yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Maybe we can try and get below them.
If we can work up here after, we're fucking chilling.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Get below over here. Yeah, open the balcony. On one of you, Mike.
Wait, jump in, on you. Lived. And broke glass to my left. Oh, I had to go and gas.
You good?
Gas inbound. Safe zone relocated.
What?
You good?
Yeah.
Awesome commentary there from the sidelines, listening to them go back and forth, Tiff, because they were doing everything they needed to do. They needed to catalog their resources. They needed to call out each teams on their rotations in, and they executed that near flawlessly. Now, Noobs did have to burn the self-revive, but luckily was able to stay alive, and they did find a spot inside of this next circle, but they're gonna have to move again, and Biffle and Shifty are just chilling in the spot they wanted to get to.
Perfect. I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because that's exactly where they want to get to. But not only did Noobs burn his self-res, he burnt the durable gas mask. And we know just how vital those can be in the end game. And now the rotation is starting to hit. The issue is that car on their minimap was Shifty and Biffle, but Unrational wipes Soka and Skullface. That's going to be a big wipe for them. We're down into the mix. We're starting to get to that final game. And think about the positioning, right? They knew exactly where they needed to be, but someone's already there. So that's giving Sage, or I almost said Sage. Sage is doing a watch party with Pulse Check. It's giving Shifty and Biffle everything that they need.
Yeah, this could be it. This could be some of the final moments of the last map of the day if Biffle and Shifty are able to pull this out. Now they have the vehicles up there as cover as well. They're in a great spot. But Dongi and Unrational are going to try to play spoiler. They want this tournament to continue. Here comes the rain of fire from Biffle. They've got a great position on high ground. They are chilling, Tiff, like you said. They're going to be able to walk to one of the final fights. They found the strategy that could work for them, and they're just going to deplete resources for their opponents while they can, especially when they have high ground. The only thing that could mess them up is if it pulls down across the street somehow in the next couple circles. Possible, but unlikely. I think they've hedged their bets well. Let's check in with some of the other teams near match point threshold. And, well, we're losing Clamp to Chrissy. It's just going to be up to Mireille to try to come back. Again, by the way, Mireille's in 5th place, 71.6 points. They need a 29-point game or so to breach that 100 points. I'm not sure they're going to be able to do that. Hisoka was in 4th, went down, that you called out, Tiff. They had 73 points. They're not going to be there either. I assume Brett is going to be on match point going into the next one, if there is a next one. Where is everybody else? Intex was 6th place, 67. They need a monster game, but they are both alive, and it's still possible.
This is going to be really tough, right? Because the mini-map shows where the car is. They were trying to play the bridge, which I respect, but not when Biffle has high ground. Now, the thing about Biffle and Shifty right now is they're both separated out into the mix of things at the far north corner, right? But they both have a vehicle. So they're utilizing that as cover. But the issue is they could run the mix of having a potential mortar strike PA that could take them down. And now Biffle hitting the vehicle to rotate ever so closely to Shifty, who's already done so, but still trying to clean house on the back end towards gas station, which we had recently seen Noobs and Tommy.
Yeah, he just wants to make sure that nobody comes in from a durable gas mask standpoint behind him. So wants to try to deplete some resources and make sure, but has no rush really to get to Shifty here as long as he stays on the edge of zone, because there's really no risk of getting shot anywhere else. They have a god spot for all intents and purposes, and they're dead center in this zone. The only thing that will mess them up is the moving circle. Everything else is flawless, and now Unrational's by himself. Tiff, we're already down to the top 10 teams. We're into the top 8. Unrational, oh, I thought he was gonna go down. goes crazy. Hipfire, MP5 finds the elimination. Unrational stays alive and continues to push things, push the envelope for his team. That's Sir Gimme that goes down, and this could put them into the money. This could put them into earning some cash because of Unrational's heroic efforts, especially now that he's top 5. This could be the final game, Tiff. Top 5, top 4. Unrational goes down, but earns hopefully some cash. We'll see. That's Believe in Intex on the other side. Biffle, not in trouble, not at all. Finds a wipe on Zepti, and again, they're on a little bit of a delay, but looking back, they are free and clear.
Yeah, Unrational trying to break into that top 10, but Biffle and Shifty just trying to play their lives to the best of their abilities into that top 5. It could end here. They have the best positioning that they could, but the question is, you keep talking about it, where is that pull going to go? And honestly, Intex and Believe trying to play from the high ground, but that gas mask runs out. They have to barrel forward through the smokes, and you know they're getting peppered by Shifty and Biffle.
Best case scenario, there's no cover anywhere, and they already had to burn their gas mask. Moving circle, there's more of an advantage here still to Biffle and Shifty. They still have their gas mask. They can play here for a while. Believes cracked Intex. This is it. This is the final fight. Biffle goes big. Biffle wins it all. Match point achieved. They've done it. They've won the game. They've won the tournament, and no one else was even close. No one else was on match point, and they finally did it on their last chance before anyone else was threatening them. Let's look back from Shifty's POV. This is crazy victory, honestly, because of not only the zone pulls, but of the way they set themselves up for it.
More. Under me.
Yeah. Hold on. Play it up.
Crack him. Just push that. No plates.
Nice.
Fucking go, baby.
Shit, baby.
Oh, Shifty.
Go, baby. Let's go, baby.
Let's take that shit home.
Cash Bandit's taking another one. King of Al Mazrah showing up. Can't even believe this. Like, come on. Nerf Biffle, nerf Shifty. Sage and Biffle take yesterday. They double down. They bring Shifty into the mix for this duo's match point threshold. And they win another one.
I'm blown away by the efficiency at these boys. I mean, they breached that 100-point threshold so quickly. They got to 99.8 after 3 maps, which is absolute insanity. And I gotta say, for anyone watching at home, if you ever question somehow still that Biffle, Shifty, Sage, they're undeniable on this map, no longer can you question it, okay? They've done it on LAN. They've done it on tournament after tournament. Hide and seek. Shoot your gun, doesn't matter. They're on top. Huge congratulations to the boys. If you're ranking Warzone players, put these 3 guys at the top. They're undeniable at this point. Thanos, king of the map. I don't care what you want to call him. Ridiculous performance yet again in another unique tournament format.
Absolutely inevitable as a trio. They are indeed so good. Doesn't matter where you put them in. Doesn't matter what you... Format-wise, mode-wise, doesn't matter if you're 2v2, 3v3, these boys are running everything right now. It's Al Mazrah's last hurrah, and it's very fair to say that Al Mazrah will be their map. We spoke about how this trio came together early on in the year. 3 superstar slayers joining together. We've seen that fall apart before, and they had some initial difficulties around their consistency, and then all of a sudden... Shifty decides, okay, what I'll do is I'll be the IGL. We'll get together and figure this out between us. As long as you boys trust me. Trust me, they did. And trust me, it is paying off big time. I can't even begin to count how many major tournaments that is now for this trio. And now going on to win in the duos as well. Biffle, Shifty, they are your last hurrah champions. Insane performance.
And Tiff, this is what we talk about when we talk about domination, right? You don't talk about, hey, there's RNG. Well, they won this tournament. They've won nearly every single tournament we've seen, if not every single tournament we've seen since World Series of Warzone and including World Series of Warzone. At this point, they're undeniable. What I'm most impressed by is that this tournament format offered up a brand new chance to earn that right. In duos, there's no other duo out there that's been able to be a duo champion through Caldera into Al Mazrah. This was Al Mazrah's last hurrah, and they've done it. They are on top in every single format, including this brand new match point format, where you really tested their skills, not only as slayers, but as IGLs, to be able to make the calls to win a game. And they finally did it with that perfect placement of the vehicles up on top of the ridge. Everything went right for them in the final map.
And it wasn't easy by any means, because you know, they had every chance throughout the past 3 to 4 matches that they were sitting on that 100-point threshold. And yeah, they started changing some things. They originally went to Fortress. It just didn't work out for them, and things started to look a little bit dire, and they finally locked it in to make everything work here. And Enigma, you were talking about Shifty being that IGL. From my understanding, yesterday during that hide and seek tournament, I heard he was sitting in a Discord IGLing them during hide and seek. Like, you gotta do what you gotta do, okay? The Cash Bandit's here and he's ready, so pay up.
I mean, at the World Series, I spoke to Repulse. I was having a conversation with him about this lineup, and he was saying, look, the one thing about superstars is they really struggle to settle it when it comes to their egos. They struggle to have those tough conversations that a lot of other teams do. But they did that. They got together and said, look, this isn't working for us. We're better than this. We are some of the best players in the world, and we want to stamp ourselves on this game and on this map. And they figured things out. This is our weaknesses, these are our strengths, and really knitted themselves into something that is so formidable. You heard how Soka and Co chalked up their entire end game just to try and get at them, just to try and put a stop to them, and they still go on to win. So you've got some... Every time the best players in the world even try and target them, doesn't matter. These boys, as you said, undeniable.
Well, congratulations, of course, to the gentleman. I did get word, by the way, they're going to split all of the prize pool that they've earned over the last 2 days between all 3 of them. So Sage, Shifty, Biffle, they've walked away with a total of, I think, $40,000 from winning yesterday and today. An unbelievable feat.
Crazy.
Congratulations to the gentleman. You can do the math on how much they've earned a piece, but a great day in the office, I might say, for 2 days. And I think they even won the tournament before that as well on Sunday. I don't even know at this point. They're winning everything under the sun. But the big question in my mind, and the reason we're still here on broadcast, is we're going to finalize the rest of the leaderboard. This was a $70,000 prize pool, and yes, we're giving away $25,000 to the team at the top, but there's a sizable chunk of change, $45,000 to be exact, to be exchanged hands here for second all the way down to 10th place. So where did everyone else fall? I mean, talk to me about this, Tiff. Like Breadman and I think it was technically VonBot going into the last map. I don't know how well they did. Yes, they breached 100 points. Hot on their heels was Tommy and Noobs at 88. Going into that map, Breadman and VonBot / Joewo were at 98.6. So was that 10-point margin enough to stave off Noobs and Tommy?
I hope so, because Tommy and Noobs were completely on one, finding that final form, evolving into it, and just really trying to... They knew exactly what they needed to do to hit that win condition. They just unfortunately got out-rotated on and just held out by Biffle and Shifty, who had already made that. But they were able to pick up so many eliminations on the way that there's a very good chance that they were able to climb up that leaderboard and unseat Redman, especially since Joewo had to go get that bag for his sponsor stream. Congratulations, King, get it. But I mean, I understand. But then
Sure.
also Unrational Enigma, just a lone soldier out there underneath the ridge of Biffle and Shifty, just taking as many eliminations as he could because he was outside the top 10 going into this.
Yeah, no, exactly. Very much so. Ice in the veins. We've spoken throughout the afternoon. The kind of plays that he can make at times really does have that takeover potential in specific moments. And as was said throughout the afternoon, a great Warzone players know when to dial it up and when to dial it down. And in that moment, he's just kind of skulking his prey, just stalking them very slightly. Unfortunately, perhaps overdoes it towards the end when it comes to Believe and Intex. But it's a very difficult situation of wanting them both to line up. Could have gone a very different way. But so some very great plays there indeed. And if those extra points have indeed tipped them into better prize money, worth every second.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what happened. I mean, Team Unrational going into that last map was actually in 9th place, which is a little bit higher than I thought they were. They were a little bit under the radar, at least on main broadcast, 58 points overall, right? Only about 2 points behind. So we'll see where they land, and I think we're going to see right this second. Let's take a look at the top 10 leaderboard. Who's making money and who is not? Team Biffle, undeniable at the top, and it was Team Breadman, second place by 0.2 points. That is $15,000 going to the side of Team Breadman, with Tommy and Noobs earning $10,500 by 0.2 points. That is 0.2 points there is worth $4,500. Absolutely ridiculous. But this was my big question mark, is where was Intex and Believe? Hell of a tournament from them.